As writers, we must share a story. In a personal setting, it can help us and others heal. In a business setting, we can help our customers, clients, teams in a few small ways. The first is what we focus on expands, and the second is your story is your superpower. If you're really blessed, you can lean into both. And I believe that our special guest speaker does have both. Not only does she have both, but she embodies these principles with great success. Since I have known her, I've watched her curiosity, passion, and compassion lead her to publish 2 books and help well over 500 new coaches navigate the next steps in their unique journeys. She has become an expert in the field. And that's what happens when you understand that your story is your superpower, your gift to the world. When you're aligned and you're willing to show up, then you grow fast. It's not luck. There's no luck. There's working hard in the dark and then being prepared when the opportunity presents itself. Sometimes you can create the opportunity, but you have to do the work in the dark when the cameras aren't rolling. This year, I set out to prove that what we focus on expands in many different levels. First, by running a marathon, designing some courses, even this workshop. I've also focused on and expanded the Phase4 Podcast to unimagined heights. Vanessa has also expanded exponentially. The amount of work and time she has sacrificed, not only for her own personal development, but also to help the community, is commendable and contagious, not to mention honorable, heartfelt, and heart-centered. There's no doubt that the world needs more people like her. Vanessa and I met in a coaching certification course, and it was quite obvious to me that there were about 4 or 5 people who are willing to put themselves out there, be vulnerable, and take uncertain action, knowing that any return would provide abundant opportunity. The reason exponential growth happens is because you account for certain factors in your planning, but then other things happen that you didn't expect or think of, and they start to stack. So follow your heart, use your story as your superpower if you can, and train your attention on what you want to become. If you do, it will expand so that you can become that thing. Vanessa is focused, and her story is more of a superpower because of that attention to detail. Her authenticity is visceral, and I am grateful to call her a colleague, a friend, and a trusted advisor. Vanessa, thank you for doing this. Welcome, and the room is yours.
Oh, JP, you are awesome. You are absolutely awesome. I got all teary-eyed when you said it last night as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. JP has a very special spot in my heart, as does Maureen, and I'll explain. JP gave me the opportunity. It was the very first time I was on a podcast, and he gave me so much space to be able to share my story, because if you know of me, my URL is understanding ear. It comes from a Stephen King quote that I'll condense that basically says the most important things are the hardest things to say, not for the want of a teller, but for the want of an understanding ear. Well, I had no problem telling my story, but I needed understanding ears. I needed people to hear it. I wanted to become the survival guide for others, and JP gave me that platform to be able to do so. It was my very first one. I was really green. I was nervous. I was shaking underneath the table, very much so, but he was so gracious to me, and I will always have that. I will always have that. And then we go to Maureen, my beautiful Maureen, who has been a participant in several of the groups that I've had. And when I wrote my book and I launched it, she was the first person to buy it and to give me a review on Amazon that just touched. So JP and Maureen are my firsts, and I will always be connected to them. I can see it in 10, 15, 20 years, and we're still doing what we're doing. It's going to be right there. So I thank you so much for the space, and thank the rest of you for at least hearing that little bit of a story so that you understand the connection that we have. And I'm looking forward to having that connection with all of you. So we're going to jump right in and talk about blogs and books. the written word.